trips, falls, the Big Ten is turning into a battlefield of chaos where players hit the deck like dominoes in a rigged game. Okay, maybe not exactly rigged, but from Jeremy Fears' footwork fouls to John Blackwell's overtime tangle ups, and even Purdue's suspicious wet floor sealing a win. It's time we talk about this league wide and not just with one or two players and that we do or don't like, because at the end of the day, when there are consequences, the potential risk is greater than, or when there's no consequences, the potential risk is greater than it ever has been. So this year, it all goes back to Michigan State versus Michigan. Who would have thought, right? These guys are kings of drama in basketball, and let's be honest, we all kind of love it, but we love the clash, we love the mess. We just don't want, to see anybody get hurt. We want to stay confined there and not risk players getting hurt. Well, Jeremy Fears Jr. made a couple of plays that raised eyebrows during that game, but it was after the game when coaches were commenting on the issues that sparked some of the biggest storm. Dusty May said that he saw dirty plays all over the tape. I also like to tell him to make sure he watches the tape of Aday Mara essentially karate chopping Nick Martinelli on Wednesday night too, because at the end of the day, that was kind of, stuff happens, and it's important we recognize if it's a tough play or something more vindictive out there. And I'm not saying Aday Mara was or wasn't. I'm just saying it's something we have to be on the lookout for. Then you have Michigan State versus Illinois, where Fears again, but not quite as obviously, sticks out his foot, and Illinois' David Mirkovic goes flying. Could have been a terrible situation. He crashed, hit the floor hard, and honestly, he could have been injured and really hurt himself. Officials reviewed it, but said no foul, which was crazy to me, and crazy to Illinois head coach Brad Underwood, who wasn't having it, firing off in postgame. He said, quote, "A trip has always been a foul," end quote. And that's the type of inconsistencies we can't continue to go with. And this isn't, this isn't just Fears, and this isn't Fears' first rodeo. Just days earlier, I think it was February 4th against Minnesota, he earned a technical for kicking a player. It wasn't as dangerous as tripping him, but still disrespectful, uncalled for, and could hurt somebody. Michigan's Dusty May piled on, accusing Fears of other dangerous antics that put opponents at risk. Tom Izzo, Fears, his coach, defended him against baiting, but admitted the mistake and even floated the idea about benching his key player to send a message. He did bench him a little bit in that Minnesota game, but ultimately he still got back in the game, because at the end of the day, it shouldn't be coaches doing these type of punishments, because they need their players. That somebody else needs to step in and do this. These aren't isolated flubs. They're part of a pattern that's got fans and coaches buzzing about dirty play in the Big Ten. And then too much longer, we got Wisconsin's John Blackwell in the spotlight during a heartbreaking loss to Indiana. In the final seconds, Blackwell's defending Lamar Wilkerson pulls the chair out from under. He's falling back, and their feet get tangled up. Wilkerson trips, hits the floor, and Blackwell picks up his fifth foul, is out of the game in that situation. Fans were irate, of course, Wisconsin fans, saying that he didn't mean to. It was not something he was trying to do. And some of them didn't even see the trip. But upon replay, it was there, and it didn't look purposeful at all, but the optics are pretty terrible. And Blackwell didn't shy away from the heat either against Illinois. He embraced the villain role. I think he was screaming from the court, "We are the villains," he was saying. And so did this entire team. Allegedly, the Wisconsin bench was cheering when they were fouling freshman Keaton Wagler, fouling him hard, getting him hit, and when he was hitting the floor with hard fouls, and that sent him to the floor. Coach Brad Underwood said that they were celebrating it over on their sideline, and it's pretty obviously a plan by Wisconsin in that game to target the freshman and throw him off his game, throw him on the floor, do anything they could to try and beat him and rattle him. Then there's the Purdue-Nebraska thriller at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Overtime, closing seconds, Nebraska's Jamarcus Lawrence gets the ball for a potential game winner. He's about to go up the floor, and then bam, he slips on a wet spot, turns the ball over, and Purdue escapes with the victory. Where did the mystery puddle come from? Right where the Purdue team huddled during a timeout. Speculation ensued. Did a player throw water down on the floor? Was it sweat? Whatever it might have been. Social media exploded with theories. Spit could have possibly been. Dripping water. Did somebody spray water? Intentional sabotage to maybe ice the floor. analysts pointed fingers at the mop boys and the poor floor management as well. But videos also surfaced of a beer being thrown from the stands at the Purdue bench. And it wasn't exactly where the slip happened at, but close enough that, a splash could have possibly gotten there to make it happen. So there was even video of it, and Nebraska responded and said they would look into it and punish the person who did it, which leaves me to thinking, why can't we, so we can punish the fan after the fact, but we can't punish the players? Really? These incidents aren't random. They're symptoms of a bigger problem in the Big Ten right now. No official evidence points to a coordinated dirty play or conspiracy, right? But the mix of questionable sportsmanship, incidental contact, and straight up, facility fails is piling up. We've got trips that, officials miss. Sometimes it's a foul. If it's not intentional, it's a foul, but then sometimes it is a foul, even if it's not intentional. We got groin kicks that draw technical fouls, but no further scrutiny. Wet spots just randomly on the floor, beer being thrown on the floor. It's not just about the players. Coaches like Underwood and May are calling it out, while others are like Izzo are saying they're going to handle it internally. But again, that shouldn't have to be what they do. That you do that for behind the scenes stuff. You don't have to do that for this kind of stuff. The league should come in to play. But that's not enough. The Big Ten needs to act like the powerhouse it claims to be and put more eyes on the floor during the games and between the games as well. Now, refs are human. They miss calls in the heat of the moment. It happens. It's not fair to put more on them because I think they're just going to miss more calls if you keep putting more on them. That's where an off-site or post-game reviews come into play. The Big Ten already has a solid framework with its sportsmanship policy, which covers player safety and fair play without compromise. The commissioner's office can review footage, investigate complaints, and slap on penalties from reprimands to suspensions, even if nothing was called live. Take the 2020 class of Illinois and Alan Griffin. He stepped on Purdue's Sasha Stefanovic, got ejected, but the league reviewed it overnight and him with a 2-game ban for creating a quote unsafe environment. That's the kind of proactive stance that we need right now, that we need more of in this league if this kind of stuff is going to continue. And it's only going to continue if there's no consequences. For Fears tripped or, Blackwell's tangle up, or even if they look unintentional at first glance, a league official should be poring over that tape, analyzing angles and determining intent. Did this guy try to do this? Was it intended or not? Obviously, you're not going to get every single call that happens in the moment during the game, but you can punish players after the fact for, missing part of a game or whatever else it might be. If it's reckless or worse, punish them outside the game. Suspend them for the next matchup. Send a crystal clear message. You might get away with it in the moment, but you might not suit up for the next game. Expanding this isn't rocket science. The Big Ten could set up a dedicated post-game watch office. I mean, the NBA has got something like this with their last 2-minute report, or football's replay center that they have as well. They've got the resources, officiating experts. They have video text from BTN and Fox, and they've already have they already monitor social media for buzz and stuff like that as well. So in football, they review a targeting hit and enforce automatic suspensions if upheld. Why not the same in basketball's trips and slips? You can actually take away those as well, and you could possibly take these away in this situation too. It aligns with NCAA rules and would boost player safety in a league known for its physicality. Sure, some coaches might gripe about over officiating, but at the end of the day, the benefits outweigh the risks here, in my opinion. Fewer on-court injuries, off the ball injuries, stuff like that. Fairer games in a conference that holds everyone, players, coaches, even fans, to a higher standard, because we are the best conference in college athletics. Look at the summer, look at the summary of all these things that are going on in February, the incidents, everything else. The Fears trip of Mirkovic, no foul, kicking the groin against Minnesota, that's a technical. Blackwell's unintentional trip on Wilkerson, that's a personal foul. Purdue's wet spot leads to Nebraska's turnover. It was believed to be Purdue first. Then we see a beer get thrown onto the court. Who knows? It's a litany of inconsistencies, and not even to mention, like I said, Aday Mara just tonight against Northwestern. It's leading to a fall fest out there, not the good kind, not with the pumpkin and the apple cider, right? boy, we might be nice to get back to the Fall Fest here soon. But anyway, we are fed up. Coaches are frustrated and players are at risk. Tripping and wet floors have no place here. If we want the Big Ten to shine as a premier conference, we can't let this stuff slide. More eyes means catching issues in real time, extra officials scanning the sidelines, better trained mop crews ensuring that there are dry courts and vigilant reviews post game as well. If a player like Fears thinks twice before extending that foot, knowing the tape will tell all, maybe he doesn't do it again, which is better for the league, better for the players, and ultimately better for Jeremy Fears Jr. too, because we want to know Jeremy Fears Jr. for his excellent play and not if he sticks his leg out at guys. And if we could get, wiper crews anywhere, water goes on the court, that would be huge to avoid these issues as well. It's about deterrence, integrity, and protecting the game that we love. The Big Ten has the tools. Its policy empowers the commissioner to act unilaterally on unsafe plays. We've seen it with precedent set in 2019 with Maryland and Michigan. They had their brawl that had suspensions. Now with these recent flare-ups, it's time to ramp it up again. Send a message. Make sure people know you're not going to get away with this kind of stuff. Coaches are already hinting at the league involvement. If complaints pile up, you can expect some policy tweaks at the next media days, possibly even sooner. This epidemic of falls isn't just for the fans arguing about on Twitter or anything like that. It's dangerous. Players deserve a safe court. Fans deserve clean competition, and the Big Ten owes it to itself to lead by example. Hold everyone accountable or watch the chaos spiral moving forward. More eyes, more accountability. That's the fix.